Hey everybody, Max here for IGN. I'm with Jordan Vogt Roberts. You may know him as the guy who's probably directing the Metal Gear movie. He's a big fan of games and a longtime reader of IGN, and he's here to tell us about a piece of IGN history. Jordan,
IGN history lesson.
take it away and don't break it.
I know, it's very sensitive. All right, so I was reading IGN when it was IGN 64. It's one of the first websites I discovered. It peaked in the GameCube era for me in terms of like how frequently I read it, which was constant.
It's gone downhill since then.
Well, I have like a life now. It's hard for me to,
I started hiring guys in Hawaiian shirts, and it's just
I know
crap since then.
I'll get back on it. Anyway, I recently accosted Fran drunkenly during E3 to ask him about this because when the GameCube was coming out, he wrote an article where he created a GameCube controller out of clay. And he described the way it felt in your hands, he described the way the buttons felt, and he was very confident in the ergonomics of it and like very, very descriptive in the way that it felt. So this is that controller. And the reason I accosted him when I was drunk, and he was drunk, and I was like, tell me about this thing. I've had a long-standing theory that, I don't know, a decade ago, however long ago, he got his hands on a GameCube controller well before he was supposed to, or anyone was supposed to. And in order to write about it, he created a clay version. Spit, because I'm so excited. He created a clay version of a GameCube controller, acting as though he had never touched one before, and described the way that it felt when secretly a developer had let him hold one and play with one. Because if you read the article, he talks about the way the buttons feel, and you can't really press clay buttons down. But I was like, Fran, you touched the controller, right? And he was like, oh yeah, totally. So it was like a long-standing conspiracy theory that I recently had confirmed. And I feel like a very important mystery in my life was like closed.
I'm glad you got to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
So 18 years ago, Fran lied about whether or not he'd actually touched one of these. This actually feels just like a GameCube controller. You could probably mod this.
Don't break it.
It's really,
this
it's
is what I'm
heavy
gonna
as
play
hell, too.
Smash Ultimate on, actually.
I think so, yeah. We should see if we can get this hooked up to a
Also,
Switch.
why doesn't Nintendo just call all their controllers Wavebirds now? I feel like it has such a generic name. I wish all the Switch Pro controllers were just called Wavebirds.
That would be nice.
And also,
if
if the GameCube controller that they release isn't wireless, I'm gonna freak out. Nintendo.
I don't know. This is, well, I hope it's a little bit lighter than this. This is kind of a lot.
That's a heavy
plug
one.
around.
That's a heavy one. Anyway, I'm here for IGN Facts and History. Reporting live.
Do you want to talk about the Double Dash review?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, there's nothing to really talk about other than the fact that I think the 7.9 was well-deserved. I think it was the slowest entry in the franchise. I think it took several entities to get the speed back up to now where like they have like 200cc, 250 now, right? Like it's infinite. Anyway, Double Dash, weakest of the franchise, 7.9, absolutely deserved. I think people should bring back the insult of saying something got 7.9.
Well, controversial words from Jordan Vogt Roberts, but important pieces of IGN history.
Bring back 7.9. Also, I have a theory. Do you remember the megaton of it all? See, I'm teaching people about IGN here. All right. The term megaton, as like an announcement, happened because there was like a weird theory that they were gonna drop a bunch of GameCube-related news. And everyone was like, oh, it's a megaton announcement. It's a megaton announcement. And I swear to God, on the IGN GameCube boards, it was, oh, there's a megaton coming. And it was like Matt and everyone like gassing people up, and then it never happened. But the whole terminology of megaton, I swear to God, the idea of that coming from an announcement comes from the GameCube era IGN.
I can believe it. Well, for all IGN news, keep it locked at IGN64.net or whatever. The Imagine Games Network.